We are still in the introduction of Shaar HaBitachon, the gate of Bitachon. Bitachon we usually translate as trust in God, confidence in God. And we explained that what is a definition of Bitachon is being sure that the one you trust in will do the best for you. And Bitachon in God, meaning that you are sure that God is doing the best for you. Now, it's easy to say, it's hard to live. I mean, to really live that. So this is maybe I didn't speak about that enough. The concept, the intellectual concept, I think it's quite easy to understand, right? You believe there is a God, there is some entity that is can do everything and is wise, etc. And you also know that he loves you and he wants the best for you. And for that reason, you can be sure that everything that's happening to you is for the better. So it's easy. I think it's an easy concept to understand, but the real challenge is to live it, to really reflect that, that it would become part of you. And the sign for that is what we called, what we spoke a lot about last time, the peacefulness, the calm, right? The fact that you don't live under stress. You're not worried. You're not concerned. It's not that you're not trying to do things or trying to make sure that things are going to be in the right way, but you are not worried. You're not living under pressure. This what we call peaceful of mind, shalvat nefesh in Hebrew, peaceful of life, peaceful of mind, and it's something that it's something you should work about on it, right? It's not something that will come for itself. If you not think about that and reflect about that and always think about this fact, it won't become part of you, right? Because we live in this world and everything in this world makes us worries, right? Things that happen in politics, in work, in financial world, etc. All the things make us worry. And the more you think about the God in your life, you can be more peaceful. And this is a work that we should work on it. So this is basically that. And the conclusion of that, which is also it may be easy to understand, but how to really live it, is that you are now exactly in the place where you have to be in all the aspects of life. Where you are now is where God wants you to be. It doesn't mean that you don't have to work as much as you can to make it a better place or to make progress and advance in your life. But looking not forward, looking not towards the future, but towards the past, God brought you exactly to the place you have to be right now. Right? This is the conclusion of that. If He loves you and He wants the best for you, so He brought you to the exact place in your life that you have to be in every moment. This causes a question that we may deal with it later, but if I made a mistake, if the place I'm now is because of mistakes I made in the past. So this is what God wants to me, to make the mistake. I mean, we are doing mistakes. We are humans. We are doing mistakes. So what does it mean that God wants you to be here? Sorry, just a second. So maybe we will speak about that later. I'm just leaving that open right now. But so again, this is the conclusion of what we say until now, right? So you have the confidence that God loves you and wants the best for you, and for that reason, you know that you don't have to be worried about the future. What have to happen, what's have to be happening will happen, and you don't have to be worried about the present. Right? You must be sure that God brought you to the right place where you have to be. What are the advantages or benefits of living in that way? So he mentioned several benefits. The first benefit that he mentioned, he said there are benefits for the spiritual life, for the religion life, and there are benefits for the regular life or secular life. And he started with the advantages of the religious life, even though it's really mixed. It's hard to separate between them. He said, trusting God is not trusting other things. What does it mean? And this is a point that that's what we saw largely last time, that trusting all the other things in the world is never for sure. There's no thing in the world that can give you 100% guarantee that you will be happy. And he spoke about wealth or health or any other kinds of thing that we can say, well, if I work hard, I have a lot of money, so I will be happy because I can make sure that I have everything I need, etc., etc. So I trust in what? In the money that I can get. Or if I go to the gym enough, I will be healthy, and then I will be happy. So it's not that you don't have to work for money. It's not that you don't have to go to the gym. It's not all the other things. But this is not what gives you the peaceful of mind, because all the other things are temporal. All the other things you cannot really trust them. But in God you can really trust. Not that He will give you what you want, but it will give you what is right for you. Okay, so this is really what can give you peaceful of mind, not all the other things. You can be the richest person in the world and still not be happy. You can be the healthiest person in the world and still not be happy, right? So the trust in God is what can give what you won't be able to achieve with other things is this peaceful of mind that you are in the right place. It's very, very similar. I don't know how you are familiar with Stoicism and Stoicism it's called? Stoicism, right. Marcus Aurelius, I think his name was, yeah. It's very
Sorry,
similar to that.
Rabbi, what is that?
This is a philosophy that was established in Rome in the second, third, no, before that, in the second, third century before the Common Era. That it's a full philosophy with not a lot of aspects, but it's one of the main points is like that. You shouldn't be worried about things that you cannot change, right? You should accept the world as it is. So it's one of the points of but it's not like you're saying, okay, I don't care about the world, or I give up about changing the world for the better. It's not saying that. I'm just saying that I'm confident in the process. You know the term trust the process? It's a I don't know where is the origin. I know that from Philadelphia 76ers. You know what? They had a long time that they weren't very good and they changed. So they said, trust the process. We're in the process. So we are trusting the process, meaning that even though we are making all the efforts, we don't have to worry about the advancement. Okay, so this is the first thing that you shouldn't trust in other things. You shouldn't have or tie your happiness in any other factor of life, right, apart from God. And the second point that he said, the advantage is that you are free from social pressure or social, you say peer pressures, meaning that what people will say about you doesn't take a lot of space in your decision-making process, right? You are free from this. You can do according to what you believe if you trust God, because again, your happiness doesn't depend in what other people would say or think about you. And again, it doesn't mean you have to be unpolite or antisocial. It just means that you should decide according to your values always. You should trust that this is the right thing to do, even though maybe other people won't see that in the same way. So you are free. When you are free from this pressure, it is counting that in the advantage for the religion. I would say it's advantage for life also, for secular life, if you can be free of that. But he connected to the right, you don't have to be worried about.
Rabbi, you turned off your video and your audio. We can't see you or hear you.
Maybe it got disconnected. I also cannot see or hear. Right.
Well, if he got disconnected, then the book would have disappeared too, maybe, no? Uh-oh. Now everything now it disappeared too. Oh, here we go.
Now, do you hear me now?
Yes.
Not hear it?
Yes,
Can you hear?
we can hear you.
Yeah, I don't know what's happened. I don't know where you lost me.
When
Okay,
you
now
said it's
you
good
can.
for secular life also.
Yeah, so I think that being free of this peer pressure is also good for secular life, not only for the religious part. And then the last benefit that he says that you can be concentrated in what you're doing right now. Again, he says again from the religious aspect, but I would say that it's also from the secular aspect, right? You are not, if you always have thought in your mind, what would happen? What will happen to me? What will happen to that? You're always worried about the future. It's really hard to be concentrating on what you're doing right now. So he said about, for example, when you learn in Torah, you cannot concentrate. When you are praying to God, you cannot concentrate. I would say also when you are speaking with your wife, you cannot concentrate because you are worried, right? So, I mean, everything that you are doing, you are worried. You are not in the place where you are because you have always this worry. But when you have trust in God and confidence in God, you're not so worried. You can be in the place where you are right now, right? So this is, I would say, also advantage not only for. And then he has this brilliant idea of the comparison to the alchemist, right? And so we said, what is the alchemist here? The alchemist is the one who resolve all the problem of living, right? What is the alchemist? Is the one who can transfer regular metal to gold. Right? This was the alchemist, and he has this secret, this magic that he could do that. So what's for sure, he is never worried, right? He always have gold. So he doesn't have to be worried about everything. So he says the one who trusts God has 10 advantages. It's better in 10 aspects from the one who is a alchemist, right? And then he explained what are the advantages. So I didn't bring all of them, until here we write last time, I think. I just bring 2 or 3 of them just to. So basically, say that the trust that the alchemist has in his science, in his work, is not 100%. Always there are things that you should have be worried. Maybe you don't have the metal to transfer to gold. Maybe someone will find you and will attack you to discover the secret. Or maybe you won't have the means to do that. Or maybe, so he mentioned many things that may happen to the one who is an alchemist that won't happen to the one who trusts God. And here you can understand by mistake, I think it's a wrong understanding of what he said, that if you trust God, nothing bad will happen to you. Is it really what you want to say? Let's see read a little bit what he says. So he says, the alchemist requires special materials to perform his operations, without which he cannot do anything. These materials are not found at all times and in all places. But for one who trusts in God, his sustenance is assured and can come through any means of all the means of the world. As written, he fed you with man, which you knew not, neither did your father know. That he might make known to you that man does not live by bread alone. So these are the verses in Parashat Ekev. For at no time and in no place are the means of obtaining his livelihood withheld from him. As you know already from the story of Eliyahu and the ravens. You know the story of Eliyahu and the ravens? Eliyahu had to escape from King Achav, and he was in a cave, and the ravens brought him food. Or with the widow and the cakes and water. So this is the story that she didn't have. כד הקמח לא תכלה, וצפחת השמן לא תחסר. There was a famine, and the prophet promised her that her jar of flour, כד הקמח, jar of flour and plate of oil won't finish. They will continue being all the time until there's going to be rain. Or the story of Ovadia with the prophets. You know the story of Ovadia and the prophets? In the time of Achav, Achav wanted to kill all the prophets, and he was a assistant of Achav. He worked for Achav, but he was tzaddik. So he hid 150, I think, twice. No, I don't remember. 150 prophets in a cave, and he brought them food, even though there was famine in this time. So what he's saying here, it's really strange. What he's saying, if you don't trust God, you are only alchemist, so sometimes you won't have food. But if you trust God, what? You always have food? So if you trust God, God will send you food with the ravens. God will make that your jar of flour won't finish never. What does it mean? That if you trust God, you are better than the alchemist. So you can understand, yeah, that's what he said. So why it's not like that? Why people are starving sometimes or don't have enough money or don't have enough food? They don't trust God enough. So the question is, what's the egg and the chicken, right? What comes first? You don't trust God, so God doesn't give you. If you would trust God, He would send you even with the ravens. You can understand that in that way, but I don't think that this is a real meaning. What I think that is a real meaning, it says that if you trust God, even if you don't have, so if He wants to give you, He will find a way to give you. But even if you don't have, it's okay. It won't bother you. It won't kill your confidence. It won't kill your, what we said before, peaceful of mind. Right? It's not that necessarily the one who trusts God always will have it. It's not that he will always be healthy. It's not that he will always be rich. It's not like that. But it won't bother him. It won't take away from him his happiness. And this is the difference between the one who trusts God and not. And I think that the proof for that is in the sixth advantage. We said there were 10 advantages. I didn't bring all of them. In the sixth, let's see the sixth, because I think this is the example of what I said. The alchemist is not immune from sickness and disease, which hinders his joy in being wealthy. So this is very famous. Also, rich people get sick sometimes. Sometimes it's very horrible. Sometimes they really suffer, even though they have a lot of money. So maybe they can get a better treatment, medical treatment, but they are not immune. So he said, if you build your trust, your confidence about something like money, it cannot secure your happiness from all sides. It gives you maybe food, it won't give you health necessarily. So that's what he said. That's a simple understanding. But what if you trust God, you won't be sick? If you trust God, you never suffer. What does it mean that it's better than, if you trust God, you are better than the alchemist? So what? So you're not going to suffer? You're not going to be sick? That's not what he said. That's what he said. Let's see what he says. So he says, alchemist is not immune from sickness and disease, which hinders his joy in being wealthy and prevents him from benefiting from what he has and enjoying what he has acquired. But one who trusts in God is immune from sickness and disease, except as an atonement or to increase his reward. I mean, when you are sick, it's atonement for your sin. And what? For the wealthy guy, it wasn't atonement for his sin. It also was atonement for the sin, but he doesn't feel so. He trusts in money. The money couldn't save him from the disease, so he's sad, right? But if the one who trusts God became sick, he would understand that. It wouldn't change his confidence. It wouldn't change most importantly, is peaceful of mind, because what will have to be happening, that will happen, right? But one who trusts in God is immune from sickness, except as an atonement or to increase his reward. So what you say, Isurim mechaprim, right? Suffer can atone. As written, now youth shall become tired and weary, and young men shall stumble. Those who hope in God will renew strength. So this is a verse in Isaiah, verse after verse. That even the young people become tired and fail, and קובע השם יחליפו כוח. Those who hope in God will renew strength. What does it mean they will renew strength? That they won't be tired? They will be tired, but they renew the strength, meaning that they will always be able to maintain the spiritual strength, not necessarily the bodily strength, right? So that I think that is the whole idea of the comparison to the alchemist. It's not to say that if you trust God, you will be better in the real world. You just say it won't affect your happiness, right? And while trusting in wealth, in money, won't make you really happy, right? This is what he said. So, and then I brought you another one of the 10. This is number 9.
Rabbi,
Yeah, again.
do you believe that?
What? That it will still make me happy?
Yeah. I
I
mean
think
that believing in God you won't suffer
no,
and that.
that's what I said, that it's not under the right understanding. I will try to explain again. That's exactly what I said, that it's not the right understanding. What I said, that he said the one who is alchemist is always have money. It doesn't mean he will be immune from sickness, right? And I asked, so one who trusts in God will not be sick? One who trusts in God will not suffer? No, it's not what he says. He says that even when he suffers, he understands that it's for a purpose. And the result of that it won't affect his happiness or his peaceful mind, right? Peacefulness. There is a word like that, peacefulness? Peace of mind. But
Yeah,
okay,
peace
yeah,
of mind.
peace of
So is
mind.
that I'm
Yeah,
wondering if that's what you think
yeah,
also.
yeah, I think so. I'm not, I think it's how to achieve this, to really be so confident in God that nothing affects your happiness. That you say, if it's happened, gamzo letova. The Gemara, that's what the Gemara says about one of the greatest rabbi, about Nachimish Gamzu, that he said everything that's happened to him is for the better. So the Gemara prays the person that arrived to really live this. Right? But this is a definition of bitachon. It doesn't mean that I'm there, or that it's easy to be there, or that many people arrive in there. We are describing out here what is the ideal way of the characteristic of bitachon. Right? So again, people who trust God will be sick, will be poor sometimes, will suffer from that things and another. But if they really trust God, they still be confident that this is the right thing that should be happening, and it won't affect their mood or their happiness. Right? So this is a Stoicism of Judaism. Now, another point here. So until now, we said always that it doesn't mean that I don't have to make my best effort in everything that's happening. Meaning, the fact that I believe that God will always do the better for me doesn't mean that I don't have to work as much as I can to bring this good, what I believe is good for me. So I must work hard to have parnasa, I must work hard to be healthy, I must work hard to educate my children, to do all the things that make me happy. It's not the same, okay, I trust God, He will take care of all of that. I don't have to do any effort. No, I must live in the maximum effort to do everything right and correct and to bring the happiness to myself and still be confident in God. So it's two things, two set of minds that should live together in my mind. Everything depends on me, nothing depends on me. Everything depends on me, so I will do my best in everything I'm doing to be happy or to do the right thing, the same thing, I think. And from the other side, every result that happened is for the better. So this is two sets of minds. The question is if there is any connection between these two. Meaning the fact that I'm confident in God would affect, for example, how much I insist on something or what I choose to do in my life. I trust God, so never mind what I choose, everything is going to be okay. Or I mean the opposite. I must do the best I can, so I don't consider anything that God in the responsibility of God. I will do what I believe it will be the better for me. Never mind what's happened. What you want to say, sir?
Well, like if you just do as much as you can, but don't do anything wrong, like don't cheat
Yeah,
to get ahead, but do everything up to like
up to the maximum effort. That is a question. How much I have to insist? So let's see. Let's read the next paragraph, and then maybe it will be clearer what I'm trying to say. It does say that the confidence of God may affect your decisions. Let's see. You say, and the alchemist skills will not accompany him in the afterlife. So this is another point. No, it's not the point that I want to make, but let's see, it's another thing that is quite clear. So the alchemist skills will not accompany him in the afterlife. They may only provide him in this world, security from poverty and from needing other people. But for one who trusts in God, the reward for his trust will accompany him in the world and in the next. So this is clear, right? So the difference is all the things that you can trust in this world are only in this world. We're talking about the next world is only God. So this is a clear advantage. And now, after he's speaking about the benefits for the religious life, Now he speaks about the benefits for the worldly matters, and this is a point that I want to write. So I will read a little bit. Benefit of trusting God for worldly matters, peace of mind from the worries of this world, like we said and explained, peace from the frenzy and drive to pursue the lust of this world, feeling calm, secure, at peace in the world, as written, blessed be the man who trusts in God, the God should be his refugee. Okay, what? Refuge. Refugees are the people, yeah. So, and then he gives this example that I want to read. Among them, peace of mind from the need to travel to faraway journeys, which weakness the body, and hastened aging, as written, my strength has weakened from the journey, my life shortened. As it is said about a novice ascetic, Purushim in Hebrew, someone like I say righteous, right, or someone who is in high level, who traveled to a distant land in a search of livelihood. He met one of the idolaters of the city where he arrived and said to him, how completely blind and ignorant you are to worship idols. So that's the righteous person to say to the idolater. So the idolater asked him, and what do you worship? The ascetic answered, I worship the Creator, the omnipotent, the sustainer of all, the one, the provider of all, which there is none like him. The idolater countered, your actions contradict your words. The ascetic asked, how so? The idolater said, if what you say were true, he would have provided a livelihood for you in your own city, just like he provided for you here. And it would not have been necessary for you to trouble yourself to travel to a faraway land like this. The ascetic, unable to answer, returned to his city and reassumed his asceticism. You read with me. From that time on, and never again left his city. What is the story? What is the story? So he said the idolater told him, if you really trust God, why do you have to work so hard? God will provide you wherever you are. So what does it mean? That if I trust God, I don't have to work hard? That's what he says in this story. You trust God, don't work so hard. Choose something easy, close to your house, and don't make too much effort. That's what it looks like, he's saying. So I think that in some point, yes, meaning you must make the best effort, but until some point. You don't have to ruin your life. You don't have to be crazy. I mean, you don't have to insist too much here in making parnasah or things like that in a way that it will ruin your life. If you trust God, you put your limits to your efforts in the matters that are related to this world. I think this is also what it says in the next paragraph. It says another benefit. Yeah.
That's like traveling halfway across the world to a city in the middle of nowhere in the frozen north and being a rabbi at a synagogue.
Maybe, yeah, it's something that you should consider. No, yeah, but the question, but until what point? I mean, what? Okay, let's leave the personal issues. Yeah, but he speak in his time. I will see also. We'll see soon the another example that he gave here. But in these times, people sometimes left their families for months and years for parnasah. Right? They just left and went from city to city to sell things, some to make tzedakah, to ask for tzedakah. So he said, in some point, this is a lack of trust in God, that you would be able to have parnasah without doing that. Okay, so this is what he says. Another benefit, peace of mind and body. So another benefit of trusting God is peace of mind and body due to sparing oneself from pursuing grueling jobs and wearying occupations, avoiding work of kings, mingling in the culture and dealing with the corrupt servants. So he gives two examples of work that you shouldn't choose if you trust God. One is politics, and one is too physics world. Something that is too what? Too physically demanding work, right? They said if you really trust God, you don't have. So again, if according to my realistic analysis of my reality, the best work that I can find is something that breaks the body. Should I say this is my intellectual analysis that is the best for me, so I would choose that, or I would say I trust God that He will help me in other way. So that's what he says, that in some point you should say, I trust God. Even though maybe my intellectual analysis says that this is the best way to go, I should limit myself in that if it's something that will have a too high price for my life, right? So meaning not only the rational, regular consideration should be taken into consideration in your decision making, also the fact that God is in the picture. God is somewhere also in your life, so trust Him. Don't always chase what you think that is 100% better if the price, the spiritual price or the mental price, right, or the price of your soul is too high, right? So this is, and the other one is the other kind of work. This is about the physically demanding work, but also I would say moral demanding work. What it says say here about working with the kings. עבודת המלכים וחוקיהם וחמאס אנשיהם. So again, many Jews in Spain in his time were very close to the kings. They were very connected. I know, for example, if you're a Jew and they're sending you to make negotiation with Iran or something like that, right? It's not just example that come to my mind. No, but I mean, right now, the people, according to what they say, the people that are pushing harder to have agreement with terrorists are Jewish. So sometimes we say this is the work. He has to go. Poor man doesn't have any other work. You must do that, right? No. So what he says here, your intellectual analysis of the reality is the best thing for you would be to work with the king. But then you have to do some dirty stuff, and you have to be honest. And sometimes you may have to work against the interests of your own people. But this is the best for me. No, trust God that He will find you another way. If I don't have God in the picture, I just do my best effort to do the best for myself. That would be the way. No, but you should have God in the picture in some way. So what I always said and repeat that many times, you should make the best effort for one side and trust God from the other side. It's not 100% of separation. If you trust God, it should affect in some way your decision-making process. Okay, that's what he said. The balance here, I think it's very hard to identify exactly what is the balance. What point I said, I trust God. And I won't make my best effort because it's too much. It can be excused for everything. You know what? No, I don't have to make effort. God will take, and then you become lazy, and then and God doesn't want us to trust Him in that way, that you're not doing the best. Okay, I trust God. I won't go to the doctor. I know I have something that's very suspicious. I don't know, chas v'shalom. No, I trust God. No, you don't do that. You must resolve your problems in regular human means. Right? You don't have to trust God in a way that you say, I don't have to work on myself. From the other side, if you trust God, it's also part of the thing that you should take into consideration. Okay, it's clear this point, this balance. Again, where the balance is, I cannot tell you. I cannot tell for myself, I cannot tell for you, right? But there is some kind of balance between trusting God and making the best effort. Okay, so these are about the benefits. This is the introduction. Now, it said another example, I think it's related to the same point. Another benefit, minimal aggravation in one's business dealing. Aggravation, what does it mean, aggravation? In Hebrew, it says tsa'ar nafsho. Yeah, feeling, you are afraid, concerned, right? So you say, if one's merchandise does not sell, or if he is unable to collect his debts, or if he is struck by illness because he knows that the Creator is in charge of his life, and knows best what is good for him, as written, only to God should you hope, my soul, for my hope is from Him. So this is, I think, the same point here. what he says here, that you don't have to make effort to sell your stuff, that you don't have to make effort to collect your debt, etc. No, you have to. But if you didn't succeed, it still won't affect your peace of mind. Okay, so this is the point he's saying here. Also in the next example, another benefit, joy in whatever happens to him. Not only accepting whatever happened to me, being joyful about that, right? Being happy about that. Even if it's something difficult and against his nature, because he trusts the God that God will do only what is good for him in all matters. Just like a mother has compassion on her baby in washing it, diapering it, and trying to untying it against its will. What? Untying the baby. Yeah. As David says, surely I have behaved and quieted myself as a child that is weaned of his mother. My soul is even as a weaned child. כגמול עלי נפשי. Okay, so this is again the same idea, not only, like we said, in what I choose to do, not only when I'm doing something and it's not happening according to what I say, also when I am pushed to new situation, new condition, I have to deal with a new issue, I should be happy about that. Not only accept it, be happy about that. Why? Because if Hashem send it to me, it's for my benefit. Okay, so this is a kind of bitachon that we should try to achieve. And then this is the end of the introduction. He says what's going to be in the 7 chapters. So the Shaar HaBitachon has 7 chapters, and this is just going to see what we are going to see next. Since I have clarified the benefit of trusting God for religious and secular matters, I will now clarify 7 topics on the matter of trust. First, what is trust? 1, it's like here, right? 2, the criteria for trusting someone. What makes you trust someone? 3, the prerequisites to trusting in God. So he would say, there are 7 kind of people or things that make you trust someone. And then in the next chapter, he will show that all of them you can say about God. Right? So this is 2 and 3 will explain you why you have to trust God. Then 4, when trust applies and when it does not. A little bit what we spoke right now. Meaning when you have to walk or to act according to your trust in God, and when you can say, no, I have to do it myself. 5, the difference between one who trusts in God in earning a livelihood and one who does not. 6, obligation to refute those who promote delaying the service of God until reaching sufficient material prosperity, right? I will do everything. I will learn Torah once I will be rich. I will go to shul every day once I have enough money, right? So those are delaying the service of God until reaching sufficient material prosperity. At 7, things that damage one's trust in God and the summary of the matter of trust. So these are the 7 chapters that we are going to see. I'm not sure exactly, but I hope to do like 1 class on each chapter. No, not to make it too long, right? Yeah. Okay, comments or questions? No? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Ray.